welcome to another Elevated Marketing Chat. My name is Jennifer Denny. I am the owner of Elevated Marketing Solutions, a digital marketing agency here in Indianapolis. We deliver solutions by accurately tracking and understanding your data, and I do say that in caps because every data set has a story to tell. We are live on several channels. Certainly appreciate comments, likes, shares. We are here to answer any questions that you might have. Sharing is caring. So before we get started today, let me get my quote up on the screen. It's not what you have, but what you do with what you have. So this is all about being resourceful, and I think this really plays into our topic today on planning your 2022 digital marketing strategy. But it also can just come into play overall in life. Let's not think about what we don't have, but let's make do with what we do have and make it count and be resourceful. So let's get started with today's topic. Like I said, we are planning our 2022 digital marketing strategy. Now, hold up before we go any further. I have a philosophy. I know a lot of people like to plan this time of year, and sometimes it's the only planning that they do for the entire year. Now, when you're looking at the entire year, I think now is a pretty good time to plan. Maybe not now when this is coming out in December, but actually I start planning back in October for 2022. And that's because I'm always looking into the future, and I'm always trying to plan at least a quarter ahead. So although, you should look at what you can accomplish in the entire 2022 year, I typically look at it quarter by quarter. I will break down that entire year of 2022 and put it into individual quarters of this is what I'd like to accomplish, within that quarter. And then that gets broken down by the month and by the week and then by the day. I think a lot of times people, put out these big giant goals and they're only looking at the very end goal, this, metaphorically big giant wall that they have built, but they don't think about the individual bricks that it takes to lay down as perfectly as possible to create that wall. And so sometimes we get too ambitious about these end goals, but we don't break it down into bite-sized steps. And if you just put one foot in front of the other, you'll eventually get there. So planning in general, I don't think it's something you do annually. I don't think it's something you do quarterly, monthly, weekly. It's a daily activity that you're constantly doing and planning out what you're going to do. But annually, yes, let's look at what we want to accomplish in 2022. So before you get started, you got to start with your basics of your marketing. You need to know what these basics are. I think a lot of times people will start with tactics, and tactics are not going to get you there. You need to start with some basic items. So first of all, define your business goals. What is it that your boss or your leader, or if you are the leader, what are the business goals for the year? What are you trying to accomplish? Is that starting a new service? Is that hitting a certain revenue objective? It could be a lot of different things. Maybe it's just efficiency in what you're already doing, but you need to have that basic of defining what your goals are. Another basic goal that you should know is, what is your buyer's journey, marketing funnel, customer buying cycles? They all mean the same thing, but is it clearly defined how somebody moves from one stage of awareness? They're just aware that you are a potential service or product that they might use, all the way down to delight. They've used you before and now they're recommending you to other people. What is that journey? How do people flow through that? And I mean, what are the questions that they ask themselves in order to determine that your product or service is the best for them? So do you have that clearly defined? Do you know who your audience is? Do you know their characteristics? Are they male? Are they female? Are they of this certain age bracket? Do they have these certain interests, likes, certain behaviors? Is that already clearly defined? Another basic, do you have a marketing budget in order to use additional resources outside of your own team? Obviously, that can be ad budget, but maybe that's hiring a marketing agency. Maybe that is hiring just an additional freelancer to help you out. But do you have a budget already established? So, if you don't know your marketing basics, the ones that we just listed, what your business goals are, what are the funnels that somebody goes through, or the buying cycle, purchase journey, whatever you want to call it, who is your audience? Those are your plans for the next year, is to figure out who that is. That should be a major objective. Of course, there's going to be other things that go along with it, but that has to be one of the major objectives. All right, well, let's get started. So, once you have gotten those marketing objectives, let's go do the research and do what I like to do best. Let's go look at your data. So we should look at least the last year's worth of data, so an entire year. And we're going to use Google Analytics, but if you use an outside platform like HubSpot, or, there's several other ones out there, SharpSpring, use those platforms too. I would use them in conjunction with them because, you got to keep them honest, and they all have different quote unquote attribution stories to tell. So use all your resources that you have. Important note, don't plan yet. We're just taking notes. Okay, so you are looking for what worked and what didn't work. And we are again looking at the entire last year of data. How did the traffic get to your website? So what channel of marketing did they get there? Who drove the most traffic? Did we use all parts of the funnel to drive traffic? So, the major kind of channels are organic traffic, email marketing, ads. Sometimes there might be some offline. I feel like I'm missing one, referral traffic. Referrals coming from other websites, that's referral traffic. And then that mystery bucket of direct traffic. That's the one that we were really not sure where that traffic came from, and we hope that is not our largest source of traffic. So, who gave you the most traffic? Once we've looked at that, before we kind of go to the next step, make sure that you have enough traffic there that I can make decisions that are statistically significant. Do I have enough traffic that it's going to make a difference? So once I know that traffic and where it came from, analyze how that traffic behaved once it got to the website. Did it immediately bounce out? How much time did they spend on the site? How many pages did they view? Determine, those different platforms and look at how that behaved. Maybe one of them didn't do so well, and we're going to have to go back and kind of analyze, what was the strategies that I used to drive that traffic to the website, and there might be some problems there. Look at the website as a whole, so get into your behavior reports in Google Analytics. Analyze the top pages on the website. So what are the pages that people tend to come through the most? Typically your home page is going to be the top, but maybe it's not. Maybe there's another page that has a lot of traffic. Where is the least? What are the pages that people are not looking at? Is there a reason for that? Do I need to rearrange the website differently? Do I need to bring people to that page? Or maybe it's just not a good page and there's no need for it. We don't want those dead pages on our website. Look at the exit pages. So this is in your behavior reports as well in Google Analytics. What are the pages that people exit the website on? Does that make sense? Were they supposed to exit on that page? Or perhaps do we need to go back and add some content to that page or lead them to the next step? All of this is going to help with your customer journey through your website. You might need to look at your messaging, and we might discover some web development issues. Possibly the website is taking too long to load on particular pages. And so we have to break down those pages that people exited on or they stayed on and determine why did they stay there and did they go through where I wanted them to go. Along with that, are we missing any information? Are there pages in the funnel that we don't have those yet? Remember, we're just making notes right now, though. We're not actually planning. Go back to what I said earlier. Analyze the distribution or the platform that you use to drive that traffic in. Maybe it didn't perform well when it got to the website, and maybe it's not the website's problem. But maybe I didn't choose the right audience or the right targeting when I did ads, which is where you can really, choose the right type of audience to drive in. Now, organic is going to be driven in by the content that I wrote, and email is going to be driven in by the audience that I've built up in my email marketing. So really your ads is where you're going to be able to understand, did I choose the right audience in order to drive that in? Go within these platforms and research with their tools and determine what other strategies or tactics could I have taken differently within those platforms. Use tools like the Keyword Planner tool. Go back through and do your keyword research again. Are there different ways that people are potentially searching? 15% of traffic is new on any given day of how they search. So could I have gotten some content on my website that is not there right now because people are looking and researching differently? Use that with your content planning tools. Look at your audiences. choices and what you could have done differently. Look at the overall platforms. What platforms am I not trying right now? Yeah, Google is up there at the top, YouTube's at the top, Facebook is up at the top, but there are lots of other platforms and lots of other strategies that I could have potentially used. And sometimes these unknown platforms and strategies are going to be better because it's not as expensive. Not everybody is playing, in those different platforms. And so we need to look at those and come up with new ways in order to drive traffic to the website. All right, lastly, in your research, look at your competitors. So why am I looking at them last? Because I want to come up and be the person that does it first. I don't want to just copy what my competitors are doing. I want to come up with new strategies. If I had started with my competitors, then I might have built my plan based on what my competitors are doing instead of keeping my mind open and thinking of ways that I could do it myself. Still think it's very important to look at what they're doing. They might have some great ideas, but let's start with our own ideas first. So now that I've gone through all of the data, I've written down lots of different things maybe that I did right, things that I did wrong. Let's do a SWOT analysis. So this is where I'm looking for my strength, my weaknesses, my opportunities, and my threats. And I'm literally writing them into those categories. So strengths, where did I excel and where did I do right with my marketing? Weakness, we all have them, and it's really hard to say that you have a weakness, but maybe it's something that you need to have somebody else do because it's just not something that you're really strong at. We have those weaknesses, so we need to identify them. Opportunities. What were those new platforms that we kind of looked at that we've never tried before? And where is there opportunity to bring traffic to the website that's quality traffic? Threats. Lots of threats. We've talked a lot about data analysis in this last year and how a lot of things have changed. That's certainly a threat to how we're going to analyze what's working and what's not. So write out your SWOT analysis, reanalyze the team that you have right now, and do you have all the players that you need in order to move to the next step? This is where we're going to develop the plan. We've already made sure that we have the marketing basics. We've already researched our own data. We've researched other platforms. We've researched the platforms that we're working on, and we've looked at our competitors. Now we need to develop the plan. We're going to go back to our business goals, go back to our marketing funnel, go back to our buyer persona, and we're going to use what worked last year. We're going to add that back into the plan, and we're going to further develop those strategies. So we're going to build them out and go further into what actually worked. We're going to add in what we feel we are missing by looking at other platforms. Were we using all parts of the funnel, from bringing somebody in that had never heard of us before to bringing someone back to the website? If we're missing any parts of that, then we're going to bring those people in as well. Push yourself. Remember to go and try something new that you've never tried before. Or, do that, but also hire in additional help that can help push you past that as well. Make sure you set realistic KPIs. Those are your key performance indicators that your plan is going to work. or what you think is going to work. We never know for sure what's going to work. That's marketing. But write out those key performance indicators. Make sure you look at your overall. So overall, what are we trying to drive? But then make sure you look at each individual channel and determine what are the KPIs for that particular channel. If it's at the top of the funnel, it's going to have different KPIs versus if it's at the bottom of the funnel. And remember, all marketing works together. It takes a team in order to get it done. So now we've got all that. We've written out our plan. Going back to the very beginning, reevaluate your plan often. So you're going to write it out to what you're going to achieve quarter by quarter, month by month, week by week, day by day. And you're going to constantly evaluate if it's working throughout the year and keep changing it. Things are going to happen. Marketing moves extremely quickly, especially digital marketing. So know the plan that you write is probably going to change by the end of the year because there's something new or new strategy that has came out. So that is it for today. And I hope you enjoyed today's show about planning for your digital marketing strategy in 2022. You can follow, or subscribe by going to elevatedmarketing.solutions. My name is Jennifer Denny. I am the owner of Elevated Marketing Solutions. Next time, we've talked about it a lot, but I feel like this gets left out. We're going to talk about ways to remarket to people who visit your website. Remember, 95% of people do not make a buying decision on that first time that they come to your website. So what are you doing in order to keep them engaged? All right, everyone, take care and have a wonderful day.